Hey guys, good morning. So I wanted to take a minute to just go over what the independent assignment is because a lot of people said that the video was helpful last week. So, for your independent assignment today, you're going to be working on text-dependent questions for Chapter 7 of The Lightning Thief. All right? These are pretty straightforward for the most part. First, you're going to work on some unknown words. This word millennia has a root and it has a suffix. We've looked at some of those word parts before. Use this affix list. It is linked. Should be linked. Yes, it'll take you to the link right there where you can look for what's the root, what is it, where does it come from, and what's the suffix, the part at the end. What does that mean? And then you're going to type your answer right in here under part B. Then you will look up the actual meaning of the word and type that here under part C. For the multiple choice questions, like always, you're going to go ahead and just highlight the answer that you like. Here's your highlighter tool up here. And that shows me what your answer choice is. No worries with that. Okay. Again, you have another definition to look up. Answer the following selected response questions. I don't know why the directions ended up right there, but that applies to the rest of the questions here. This is another one where it's word meaning in context. So same thing, they're multiple choice. Highlight the answer that you like. Now, finally, down here at the bottom, this is the part that I think needs a little bit of explanation, is I want you to reread Chapter 7, or if you haven't already, and read it, or sorry, if you have already, and read it if you haven't read Chapter 7. And in Chapter 7, Percy faces a couple of moments that sort of challenge him a little bit. Some things that maybe surprise him or make him question who he is. And I want you to find at least two. At least two. There's space for three if you find a third one, which would be even better. But find at least two examples of places where Percy is being challenged, or something is difficult for him, because that's another way to think of a challenge. So one example might be, spoiler alert, so if you haven't read it and you don't want to, maybe listen to this example after you've read the chapter. Okay. So Percy finds out that what exactly it means to be a demigod from Annabeth, and he suddenly feels really conflicted about the fact that his father was a god who came down to have a relationship with a woman and then just kind of bounced. So a challenge they might have is that he finds out that his father actually is a god and not dead like he thought. How does Percy respond to that challenge? You're going to tell me, so when he finds this out, what happens to him? He doesn't believe what he's hearing and has a hard time accepting the truth. That might be my answer. Finally, what does Percy's response reveal about the kind of character he is? Excuse me. Now, this is the part where it's going to depend a lot on you and your thoughts. My thoughts about this specific one might be that it tells me Percy really doesn't believe that he's special. He thinks he's a weird kid with problems. Through the whole book, we've seen Percy talking about dyslexia and being bad at school and things like that. So it tells us that, like, Percy's having a hard time believing that he's special. There's nothing unusual about him. So that's one example of how you could do this. Remember, you need at least two different examples for your chart from Chapter 7. Okay, I'm taking mine out for right now. You can use mine as an example, but you need to find two of your own. All right,